Okay, if I look at the solution, my dad had 1 at the top and then 2 at the bottom. Here she's saying that 2 will be the top. Therefore, see, this is hard to grade. Notice this. This looks almost nothing like the solution that we were talking about. However, her 1 and 2 are different. It looks like 1 will be at the bottom for her and 2 at the top. If that is true, by the end, she would have to find, she didn't say 1 or 2. She would have had to find B1 and then Q1 for how the student chose 1 and 2, making it complicated. All right, so let's see. All right, this is not how we find it, unfortunately. So for this case, the student, oh man, and everything else. Here I get 1 point, okay, for Bernoulli equation. Because if you see the solution that I sent to you was half a point and half a point, and then you can cancel out, you know, in this case, she said that Z1 is 0, and that's not the way my dad has it. My dad has is C1 minus C2, but one of them will be 0. If you say it's just a difference. And then the way that you're choosing the pressure, this is where there's a problem. So here, what I would say, you don't have to explain all that, is please see solution posted soon, okay? Because that's not how you find it. So then I look at my solution and I'm like, okay, so where can I get her some points? Because I see the equation here again, and she's trying to use that to find V1, and V1 for her is our V2, so I'm going to give her 1 point. And that point is this point over here, Because again, you have to really look at what they did, and they called 1 this value and 2 this value to get 1 point. And then I notice here that they also have the equation for Q, which is 1 point. It's 1 point over here, okay? I'm just trying to see where I can give the student some points. Now, unfortunately, nothing else is right. Okay, so for problem number 2, which is worth 10 points, here I wrote where they have points. No, unfortunately, they don't have a lot of points. You can write -7, okay? You can click back on the arrow if you don't want to type anymore. But again, here the issue was finding that pressure, so you can make a comment on it, or you can just move on, okay? Problems 3 and 4, I don't have. So here I'm going to submit to the grading so far, so you can take a look at that later. I'm going to pick one more now. And then after this, I can stop. And hopefully that's helpful, especially that one was very helpful accidentally and unfortunately for the student and for us. Okay, thank you. All right, here I took a look at the problem, and they did not write that it was gauge. Okay, so I'm just going a little bit faster here already. They did not write that it was gauge, but let me see how they found the density. Oh, man. I don't even know what this, for this problem. This is not the right equation, but they're getting the right value. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. Okay, so what I'm thinking is happening here is they manipulated the equation somehow to get this. But this is not, no, oh my goodness, why is it so hard to grade? So I'm gonna give them over here 1 point or half a point for area equation. This is right, but it's just, no, it's not. Again, I'm thinking that here they have density divided by 2. They have velocity squared. And they have 1 minus, is this the radius or what is this? This is not the radius. Because this will be, no. So I'm thinking they used another equation here. So you can write a comment. Where did you get this equation from? Please contact me or the grader for more points, because I just don't know where they got that equation from. I don't know if I'm missing something. So here I know that they're finding what's going on here. See, this is okay. So they did change this to meter and this to meter. That's what is over here, but that will not be radius, that'll be diameter, but I guess it cancels out when it's the diameter divided by 2. So I'm thinking, no, just because even the density, this density is not right. So there's something going on here because this density is not right. So how do they get to the right value? So this is one of those cases where it's seriously a hard problem to grade. So looking at it, I will give them 1 point total for the area. That's it. The rest was them just changing the units. And this equation, I have no idea where it came from. So I'll give them 1 point, okay? But they could get more if they can explain where that came from. Ooh, that was, you can notice there, that's just messed up, okay? So let me take a look at another one. It's just, I've been choosing girls, that's pure coincidence. I mean, maybe someone who has neat handwriting. It's not as bad as I'm making it seem, okay? All right. Okay, so here I take a look and which problem is this? Problem number 1. It's the thing, like I noticed that the density is not right. So what's going on? How, if the density is not right, they get the no, it's actually it's coincidence. Here, when they calculated the density, they used gauge pressure, okay? And they have to use absolute pressure to use that equation. So that, I will make a comment. Density is wrong. Although the equation is right, I take only 1 point off. You need to use absolute pressure in your density equation. Now, I look over here and they do have the equation. And what happened to B1? Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, so they just say it's constant. So one side is the same as the other. So then we had this because elevation is the same. So that's fine. I don't need to write plus something. Just plus something when they don't have a lot of things right, or you can use however you want. Am I recording this? I better be recording this because I'm talking a lot. And I notice here they have the equations for B1 and B2, and they have the right values. So do they? They have the values for area individually, that's fine. And they have the values for this. And then here it's I'm not gonna say it's coincidence that with the wrong density, they still get the right value. It's just that the variation of the density in this case will not be huge, but where is the density used here? $241, and then they have so give me 1 second. So here, this is a tricky one because they calculated this, they used gauge, right? They have 239, which is very close to what they need to get. And I'm trying to see where the density is. We want it to be consistent. Here's 228, so that value is very close to the right value. So you can take the point off or not. Does that make sense? Because the density is wrong. The density, they could have gone 500 units, right? And then this will be wrong because they use that 500 to calculate it. But it's so close to the right value that I'm not going to take another point off, okay? So points off are grading so far. You don't have to agree with that. You can do it however you want. Problem 1, -1. And then problem 2, if it's right, I can just go through it quickly. Seems close enough. 2191.72, so I work backwards, or at least that's what I usually do. 1.29, that's right. Just looks like they used more significant figures. B1, you gotta be careful again, because maybe they used, notice how here, same thing. They use 2 as 1, and that is fine as long as they're consistent, okay? They use 2 as the surface of the water and 1 at a depth of, well, however much it is, 15 feet, okay? So this problem is right, but again, you have to be careful because they use 1 and 2, not the same as my dad, it doesn't matter. As long as they're consistent. That was 27 minutes, I apologize, but it's hard grading this. So good luck, let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.